Hi guys, and welcome back to what actually will be our last vlog of the year. I know the last vlog from London said that will be the last vlog, but I also didn't have any plans with the horses then. So today I'm just going to take Bambi for a little arena hire. I haven't really got a plan of action in play when we get there. It's just an arena, it's a nice yard, it's literally 15 minutes away from here, so we just thought it'd be good to get us somewhere new. There's no pressure on her. If me aim of the game is really just to get her working forwards and concentrating and listening to me in a new place, so that next year moving forward, when we do start to go and do things, it can be in a more positive way and she's not going to be freaked out when she gets to new places. So that's the plan of action. I am going to take my jump saddle and my jump rider, because I might do some pole work if she's sort of in the right frame of mind, and I might even have a little jump if she's in the right frame of mind, but I'm not going to push her too far out of her comfort zone, because I know that the new arena is going to be out of her comfort zone. So it's all just going to be, again, it's kind of get my words out, with having the issues that I was having with the loading. I've spent the last 2-3 weeks loading all 3 of them. They all now load. Watch today, she won't. They're all loading well, so it's again just kind of a get out in the trailer, a little trip, nowhere too far, but also she's got to work when she gets somewhere, instead of just going in the trailer, me getting it in, getting it out, getting it in, getting it out, going for a little drive, coming back. You know, she's got to work when she gets places now, and she is only 4.5. Technically they say she's 5 from January, but she's not 5 until June, so there's actually only 6 months between her and Buddy, which is crazy. So I am going to quickly clean out the trailer, because I've been using it now for like 3 weeks, and just where they've been walking in and out of it, training them. And then I'm going to do as many jobs as I can. It is about 8:30 and I need to leave in an hour, but it is only 15 minutes away, but I also need fuel. So I'm going to crack on, and then hopefully the next video you see, Bambi will load first time and I won't have any issues. She didn't exactly just walk in the trailer, but I think because I've been doing trailer training without a hay net, when she went to walk in, she was like, whoa, my space is all gone. But stop. I'm really impressed with her. She just took a minute, looked at it, listened to me, and then she went. So she's loaded, she's groomed, the car's loaded. I'm literally not taking much. I've got my grooming kit, but she's already groomed. I've got my saddle, I've got my bridle, my pad, my gear, and a cooler to come home with some treats, because we're literally going 15 minutes down the road. So we are gonna head off now. I'm gonna go and get some fuel, and then I'm gonna go and meet Emily. Emily's coming and meeting me at the arena hire rather than coming with me, because she's got loads to do. So grateful for some help, which is always nice. So we will see you there.
So she came out a little bit wild, as you will have seen from the lunging videos. So I just began with some very, very simple walk to halt transitions. You can see there she just wanted to keep running and just keep coming up into trot, and we hadn't warmed up yet, and that's not what I wanted from her. So I was adamant that we were doing these walk halt transitions and she was going to get them good, because we weren't moving on to a trot until she got them. So we spent a good 10, maybe 12 minutes just in the walk, getting her forward, getting her more relaxed, listening to the leg, listening to the hand aid, and walking and halting when I asked. You can see here I'm just having a bit of a faff with my reins because I'm good at faffing, I'm good at waffling, I'm good at faffing. Then we had a change of rein and I just continued to do the same on this rein. And you'll see throughout this video that she can have a consistent contact, but like here, the contact just bobs in and out. And that is definitely down to me. I am a sucker for letting go of my right rein. I have such an uneven contact, which for a baby is not good at all. So I just am trying to really sort that out to make it a nicer and easier process for her. So like that whole transition I was really happy with. The walk out of the halt, the actual pace I was happy with. Then she just decided to have a little spook. And nothing, again, to try and avoid the contact. She's very good at that. And I think with babies, if you're not quick to correct it, you'd end up in a rut. And that's where we've been for the last few weeks. And it just wasn't what I wanted or needed, because then you end up in a downward spiral of just not getting anything good out of them and not feeling positive about anything. So when we were ready, I moved her up into the trot, and she was so forward today, a little bit too forward, but I'm also not sure if that's because I'm so used to having to kick her along at home that I felt like she was running off from me. So obviously then I couldn't quite get the rhythm that I wanted in the beginning, which also meant that the head and the contact wasn't in the best position either. And she does this little head shake thing, trying to avoid you from using your body to slow it down and also using your rein to get it to bend into the right position. So she is quite a tricky little mare and she knows exactly what she's doing. And some days it really stresses me out. Like, there was just no need for that. Nothing spooked her. It was just a way of avoiding what I was asking her to do. And she actually did this the day that I brought her home from the breakers. And I got on, I walked trot Canter around, and to be fair, she didn't understand a single bit of leg aid. So it did take for someone to crack a whip to get her to trot, someone to crack a whip to get her to canter, and that's exactly what she did in the canter. We were cantering down the long side, and the next thing she drops her shoulder, she bounces on the spot and she puts her head between her legs so that you fall off to the side. So given that she got me off the day she came home in March, and we're now in December, so 9 months, and I sat to this today, I think I deserved a pat on the back because she's just tricky. Again, the rhythm was a little bit too quick, but I didn't want to take too much of a half halt and steady the rhythm too much and then send her backwards, because she's quite easy to do that. So it was just finding a balance today of her being forward and happy and in a rhythm that I wanted her to be in. And eventually we got some lovely work out of her and I was really, really happy with her. I think sometimes I forget that she's 4. Like, I'm so desperate to get out to an event that I sometimes expect a little bit too much from her. Like, there was just no need for that. Sometimes she just does silly things and you think, why did you do that? But I've got to the point now where I think, I'm not shouting at it anymore. You've just got to work through it. The more angry you get and the more frustrated you get, the more steps back you take. And I think if you can ignore simple things like that and just push through it in a positive way, like bringing her back to trot, a steady trot, and then asking her to walk, and then we picked up the trot again, for her to understand that you're going to do things when I ask you to do them rather than on your own terms and at a pace that I want you to do, is going to benefit us a lot better. So there is quite a lot of footage of us trotting around because it did spend quite a while in the trot just trying to find a rhythm and trying to balance. But we are about to go into our first canter, and Emily did miss the transition, but literally by a millisecond, because that was the first stride of the canter. And on this rein, I was so happy with the canter transition. We had a lovely inside bend. She was working in a lovely contact. She was working in a nice steady rhythm, so that when I came to the corner and I asked her for canter, she just popped into canter, which I was so happy about. And a canter is becoming a lot stronger and a lot more consistent. Sometimes you do feel like you've got to chase a little bit for the canter. Maybe not on the first canter, but definitely when you come to the second rein and you ask for canter on the next rein, you are pushing a little bit harder and she can become a lot of hard work. However, I was just so pleased with how she took Canter around a new arena with horses running around in the field also, because normally that would just blow her brain, and the next thing I knew she'd be gone and she'd be buckarooing me around the arena. So I was going to do a change of rein now, and I lost the outside a little bit, so I thought, okay, well, we need to sort of straighten up a little bit, get the correct bend so that she's a bit straighter when I ask her to come round and change the rein this time. And I'm not sure. Yeah, so we still didn't get the straightness that I wanted, so I brought her back down to walk, and then asked her to trot along, and then we came back round and we were working on the trot so that then we could pick up the right canter. I wasn't asking for canter there, but now she's anticipating it. So we just got the trot going again, and then I came back to ask for the canter, and I wasn't going to ask on this circle, but she was just in the right rhythm. Okay, her head came above the contact, but the actual transition of moving forward through it I was happy with, and then the balance is much better in the canter. This rein's always a lot harder. Then we just decided to move on to some normal poles. You'll see from the first clip I just kind of hovered a little bit because I wanted to try and work her legs out herself without too much pressure on her back from me. We were gonna pop a little jump, but once Emily had popped the fence up and I was trotting around, I could just tell that she was tired, and she threw a little cow kick here and there as if she was just saying to me, enough mum. So I just cooled it off and we had a nice stretch and then called it a day. We did have a little bit of a mare trying to get back on the trailer because there was a field next to the road which did the same yard own with foals, and so they were running around like lunatics, so she wanted to play with them. But overall I couldn't really be happier with her, especially given last time we hired an arena. I think that was with Hannah, Wizzy Welsh event, and that was Kelsall, and I think Kelsall just blew her brain and it just wasn't good for her. So yeah, overall really happy. Also, just a side note, if you don't like these voiceovers, please let me know, because I seem to voice over every single one of my videos, because I'm also at the point where music lately just gets copyrighted and it just causes issues.
We are back. When I tell you she was like a different horse, I can't even believe that she is mine, because the difference in her is incredible. When we got there, I was like, oh, I should have brought a lunge line. Thankfully, there was one in the arena already, so I did give her a lunge because she was like, her tail was up, she was snorting. There was horses obviously all in the fields and stuff as well, because it's just a livery yard. A very nice livery yard, may I add. They do full livery and they've got like chandeliers and stuff in the yard. Something we'll never have. So I did give her a lunge, and when I was trying to like send her out on a circle, she was literally reading in my face. And I don't think Emily was actually videoing any of that. But then I got on it and I thought, oh god, this is going to be a nightmare. Do you know when your heart sinks when you're watching something on the lunge, like tail in the air, snorting, throwing its head down when it's cantering, and you're thinking, oh my god, I'm going to die. I thought she was going to be backwards. I thought she was going to nap at everything. I thought she was just going to want to like play with the other horses. Thankfully, being there with all the horses out, she was so forward. She didn't put a foot wrong. She did have one little moment where I thought, am I a goner here? But I'm so proud of her. So she went like that well on the flat for me that I decided to put some poles out, and we did say, oh, maybe we'll pop a little cross pole on her. And by the time I'd worked through the poles in trot, I was like, she's done. She's so tired. She works solid for 50 minutes, which she never ever does because she's not fit enough. So she wasn't even sweating like on her neck, and I was so made up. So I feel like we're ending 2022 on such a high, and I know it was an arena high, like it was nothing major, but for Bambi it was major because normally she goes out and she loses it. This was actually our last ride of the year because tomorrow will be a lunch day, and then we're actually going away for 2 nights for New Year. So then we'll come back in the new year and start fresh. I have booked on to a couple of clinics at Myesco International Arena, which is the Myesco College, with a lady called Pam Pricker. And I don't know if any of you know her, but she's brutal. She used to teach me when I went to Myesco, and that was like 10-11 years ago now, so I'm hoping I don't get there and she goes, you're still as shit as you used to be. Fingers crossed she doesn't, because that'll be mortifying. So I've got 3 of those booked, like one after the other, like week after week for 3 weeks on the bounce. And I've also got a Jeff Billington clinic booked at Aintree, which now I'm a bit nervous about because I haven't actually jumped it. But I think if she was a bit fitter, she would have been happy to pop through a jump this time. So I think obviously not this weekend because it's New Year, but the weekend after we're going to go back to that same arena, and we're going to just start straight off with poles and pop a little fence up and see where she's at. But overall, I'm so pleased that I took her. I'm also so pleased that I put a poll on Instagram and said, should we vlog it? Because I've got all this footage, and it was such a good day. Normally I'd just go, oh, I'm not going to bother because it's only an arena hire, but I am buzzing. She was so good. So thank you all for watching, and this is definitely the last vlog of the year. I said that about the last one, but this is definitely the last vlog of the year. I hope you all have an amazing new year, and we will see you all in 2023 with hopefully lots of positive plans, lots of positive outings, and ending 2022 on such a high. We will see you all in the new year. Thank you all for watching.